Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions, to the holy circle of infinite light. All the love given to us by the Father to come together every day in holiness to celebrate what's already holy and cease to pretend that we're not holy, that this isn't very holy. It's like learning from scratch what holiness is. Like even holiness, the ego can make holiness a concept. Yeah, that idea of being good. If I'm good, I'm holy, the little catechism. Holy Communion when I was 7 in a little white dress. What's holiness? I feel like I have to ask Jesus everything. He says you'll be happier that way. That's what it is. It's so true. To not even know what happiness is. He said that's your function and not even know, because we have like a little idea. Without even being happy, there's an idea of what happiness is. How about that? Happiness, the creation, miscreation of a body and a world. That's the play. Dabbling in unhappiness. Like it's really, okay, so you're made as happiness, and then we're going to pretend like we're unhappiness so we can wake up to happiness. How's that going to work? Exactly. Just really think, yeah, not, you can't even think about it. Just like be with that for a while. It's like, wait a minute, let me see. So I'm made as happiness, but I don't know that I'm happiness because I hadn't wanted to have an adventure and fall asleep and think that I really wasn't happy. So I could suffer until I realized that's not true. Is that all desired experience, Jesus? We can ask him and hear the yes. That's all desired experience. Every bit of it, and hear the yes. Every shred of what's happening or seems to be happening. The experience here is you don't get less dependent on Jesus, you get more. You see that you're totally dependent on Jesus. And that's the only happiness there is, actually. To be guided so gently to see, I offer only miracles today. We're offering them to ourselves. Offer a miracle to myself, for I would have them be returned to me. He's teaching us from scratch that giving and receiving are one. He says concepts deny that giving and receiving are one. They're a way to like block it. And the miracle, just the little house of cards come tumbling down. Can't stand up to the power of a miracle. And then being shown where the miracle's just absolutely not wanted. It goes so deep into the mind to see the desire for a body over God. Yet that's the gateway out, isn't it? There's so much love in that. Looking. Just go ahead. Show me what I've denied because it's true. And no fear can stand before that kind of deep looking with him. No fear stands before that. It is the path out of fear. Just direct seeing what's denied. Father, a miracle reflects your gifts to me. Your son. Let's not even know what it means to be God's son. Like, not even know. Even that's a concept. Yes, Jesus says yes. Can you show us just what it is to be God's son, like from scratch, like we don't know, like I don't know, I have no idea. He says you don't need to know anything about it. You're already it. See that the light's not going, okay, what's the Son of God? Just is. Yeah, he's just saying, give up miracles, give up the idea, just naked, much happier. And see the desire to cover over all of the unknowing, try to cover it over. Pack it into some kind of little box. As though infinite could be known somehow. That salvation could be, we could actually know salvation. Ask Jesus, do I actually know what salvation is? And you hear him say, no. Even salvation, the ego can make that a concept. It's like Jesus, God will talk salvation and the ego talks salvation. Every word. See how every word is got its own little, ego has its own little fiefdom around that entire word. Just that word, I'll have a fiefdom around salvation. You know, how it just builds castles, a whole construction. It's like the perfect picture. I'll post it. It ended up in one of our videos, and because we've been talking about phones, like just something so only simple like a phone. And somebody had a picture. It's so true. They had a picture of a phone, and it was a whole castle constructed. How the whole world is like the phone. Like if I don't have my phone, I'll be lost. And how we take little thoughts or words and just the whole fabrication. It's quite mysterious. But if it's believed, it's like, whoa. The phone becomes the source of hell. And then we say, oh, Jesus, I don't like it. When we do like it, we can, Jesus, I really relish hell. When he starts showing you how much you relish hell, relish it. Then you go, boy, I need a miracle on that. Relishing hell. That's very humbling. Hell's a concept too. It's just a closely guarded, held it so tight. I don't want to see that hell is a concept. Father, a miracle reflects your gifts to me, your son. See how the miracles are like they shine. They're like a little shining. They're the wake-up call. Instead of being upside down about identity, we can go straight up, pointing right back to heaven. See, but the pointing isn't to something outside. It's pointing to see it's here now. That's all a miracle can do. It can only point to what's here now. It can't change love. Can a miracle change? It's an expression of love. It's a reminder that love's always here. Even when we're saying no, I don't want infinite, not a shred of it. I want a body more than God. That's a deep one. Look with Jesus on that one. Just feeling that energy. Oh, wanting a body more than God. It's so great to look that way. No guilt whatsoever. Just clears, let that energy come into awareness. And knowing that it's impossible to have a body, yet seeing how the experience is desired. And asking for a miracle, change in perception. And every one I give returns to me. Jesus says, every miracle I give, yes. Return to me, yes. Reminding me the law of love is universal. Jesus is the law of love universal. We can see in the light of divine being, it can't be another way. Is love anything other than universal? Even here, it takes a form which can be recognized and seen to work. The miracles I give are given back in just the form I need to help me with the problems I perceive. We can ask Jesus about the desire to perceive problems. He says that's the whole function of consciousness. And we talked about that shark comes like a whole display, like just a mysteriously stunning display. And then that one thing that consciousness plays in to choose to see, to pretend like here comes, little sharks right there coming looking for. But we can't hide from it because it appears in all forms to see the reflections that this is so and totally impossible. And I loved it. It's so humbling. Diablo, I think I've spoken about Diablo. I love spirit. Diablo, the Black Panther. That they found he was in a zoo or something, someplace in a small cage, and he was taken out and he was purchased by this kind of cat, big cat park. And the owner really loved cats. He just loved those big cats. And so he took Diablo and he put him in a big outdoor, what a metaphor this is, a big outdoor compound. It's like a sanctuary. And he had a little cage he could go in. Well, Diablo was mad. He wouldn't come out of that cage. He was so angry. This is so, I'm not coming out. And anybody get close to that cat, he's like, oh, he's going to rip him, shred him. This sounds familiar. If we really look at this one, see, start looking at the symbols anyway. And so someone talked to him and said, look, there's this animal person, she speaks to animals. And he's gone, no, this is impossible for her to talk to an animal. You can find this video on the internet. It's really precious. We'll put a link in the Facebook group because it's just so, oh my goodness, so spectacular. So anyway, so he says he finally agrees to have this animal whisperer come in, and she just sits down with Diablo and starts listening to him and starts telling him, first of all, he does not like his name Diablo, which is like devil or something like that. And he wants his name changed. And that's so great. He wants his name changed. They agreed to change his name to Spirit anyway. And, so she had like a little talk with the cat and told him, that they really did care about him. And he didn't like that. And he wanted to know what happened to the other little cats. There were some other little young ones, and he was worried about them. I think a pair of twins or something. He wanted to know what happened to them. And so she communicated all this, and the owners just kind of floored against the wall about this whole thing. See, this is how we just don't know. And we have to have these things in consciousness to show us that we know nothing that we think we know. And so after she talked to Diablo and told them they had no expectations of him, can you imagine? Diablo decided that he was going to he just went out and explored his cage, and he was like really happy. Of course, the owner was like completely floored by this and started learning. She taught him how to talk to the cats. So he started actually talking to him, Diablo. Then he got called Spirit, and he changed his name. How about that for a little display in consciousness about communication, that we don't know what communication is pure infinite love. Pure infinite love is communication. That's all there is to communication. So the same animal whisperer, they're having a lot of shark attacks. I think I'm not sure where it was. It was in California or somewhere like. And so they asked her to go talk to the sharks. And get the scoop on sharks. If this is the most incredible display in consciousness. So she talked to shark consciousness, and they told her that they just are attracted to fear. Wow. What a symbol. And competition. They'd be curious about it. And so whenever these surfers, they would be in a state of fear and competition, and sharks are attracted to that. How about that? What a symbol. It's all in consciousness, none of it's abjectly true, but it's a helpful pointer, and what did she say? What'd she say about it? It's profound. You can find her video on that too. She said, stay in the now. What's the solution when you go swimming? Be in presence, in love. And that's the play of consciousness. It's attracted. The addiction is to fear. What a symbols these are. These are great symbols. And see the addiction. Jesus, am I addicted to the experience of fear, to deny divine being? How badly do I want to have that experience of fear? And until we really look with them, that's what he says. That's experience here. Until we really, really look at how much we want a body more than God. We want fear more than God. All these things more than infinite light. And to deny the miracles, that we can't offer only miracles. Ask Jesus, Jesus, can I offer only miracles today? Supreme happiness. And he says, it's miracles are pointing to now. Infinite light now. He's just helping us where we don't want to be what is now, here. You can't even use now, but you can use now because there's no other word for it. To the totality of all that is. And having the willingness to look at where you don't want miracles. Because miracles are like natural, they're natural. given by God to his son to say, I love you, I'm with you always. But if we're saying no to miracles rather than I offer only miracles, that's it. Do I want to say no to miracles? Like, tell me honestly, Jesus. Is there anywhere that I'm playing like I want to hear honesty? It's so helpful to see that he is the only honesty. That's the only honesty there is. Because there's such an idea, if I'm honest and I admit I'm bad no, the only honesty is Jesus and God. And then there's honesty of God, which is admitting the no. Because we can't change that we're one with God. You can try every which way from Sunday. That's the play of consciousness, to try, no. As soon as those desires are looked at not to be God, it's like, why am I not God? Why am I not happy? The why is asked by the one who wants to keep the no. Whereas the admission saying, oh, I don't want this. You're right, Jesus. I do not want, but at least that's in honesty of God. No. No and triple no. And it's really helpful when he shows you how the quadruple, triple, super duper with extra gravy on it, no. And you can ask him, Jesus, do I need to see that so directly? Just for here, it just hasn't been another way. At least for me, for here, for me, for however that is, because there's not anyone else out there. There's just love there. And so being with honesty of God with Jesus, where he has been really shown me wanting to be a body, wanting to crucify, just, yeah. And then you see, oh, you're sitting there going, it can't happen. You know it. We know it cannot happen. Going, it's impossible. Yet here it is. Yes, here is this desire below the level of awareness to cover over infinite. When that energy is released, there's just like happiness, so much happiness. Reminding me the law of love is universal. Even here, it takes a form which can be recognized and seen to work. The miracles I give are given back in just the form I need to help me with the problems I perceive. So Jesus, is there a desire to perceive problems? The wanting to perceive problems. Can you please show me the itch? To want problems more than God. Jesus, is there a desire to want an experience of problems more than God? He said that's a good one to spend time with mighty companions on. Wanting problems, the relishing, like having just the relishing. It's like, Jesus, take me to the relish point so I can really see it. Relishing fear, relishing hatred, relishing a body, relishing, and then pretending I don't want it. At the same time, ask him if that's how ego plays. But I don't want a body. It'll play like that. Father in heaven, it is different, for there are no needs. Jesus, in the light of divine being and honesty of God, in heaven, are there any needs? See, this is what we're arguing with Jesus about. He says yes. Claiming we actually have needs. Jesus, do I like to argue with you over that I have needs? You don't understand my needs, Jesus. That's so true. So therefore, I must be desiring an experience of needs. Jesus, is there any desire to experience needs? You want needs more than God. Okay, let's look at that directly. That itch for needs. You like to use needs to prove God is dead. That's why you like arguing with me about it. Yes, yes. And then that's honesty of God. See, we think we're going to be the play of consciousness. Oh, if we have this kind of conversation with Jesus, with how much we want a body and how much we want to play with problems, that we'll be struck dead. He says, that's how you're going to laugh, because you're going to see that's impossible. You can see that's impossible. A divine light doesn't have needs. And then you go, wait a minute, divine light, and you put needs, how does that work? It doesn't happen together. But because of there's a concept, the holding on to the concept of problems, the concepts of needs, the concepts of choice, the laundry list of no. Is that the laundry list? He says, yes. Jesus, do I really relish problems? He says, well, that's a gateway out to admit how much they're relished. Do I relish a body over God? Do I relish pushing love away with every fiber of being? That experience, do I relish that? All the relishing. Do I relish having needs? Relishing something over no thing, nothing, over infinite. Just admit it. Okay. Oh. And see that even though it's relished, one, it can't happen. It's not possible. It's just a little energetic stuffed down out of awareness. And then we're always feeling like we have needs, and then we want to argue with Jesus about having needs and him not understanding our needs. Jesus, you don't know what I need. Let's just try saying that to him, because that's really that's what we're saying to him all the time. You don't understand what I need, God. And we're still loved anyway by him. Just to see that no matter how we want to reject ourselves, we're still loved by God. We can't change it. That's when the humor, it gets really funny and you start laughing. He says, yeah, this is why honesty of God is so important. We don't even know when we're speaking serpent. We think we're expressing to forgive, and it's really expressing to keep, not to look. It's expressing with about 100, yeah, but Jesus is in it, to keep the storyline, keep identity. He still loves us. Of course, he's always going to be here. But the ego can even use Jesus being here as an excuse not to talk to Jesus. Ask Jesus about that. He'll always be with me, you know, that kind of, yes, of course he's always with you. But see how the ego will even use that to cover over not looking with them right now. It'll create a whole future out of Jesus is here now. Now we can talk to him about everything. You can ask him about that. He'll tell you. The play in consciousness, even to turn Jesus into a concept, our own voice. He's the concept to undo all concepts, like forgiveness. But here on earth, the miracle is closer to your gifts than any other gift I can give. He's using miracles to teach us how to give the gift of God. Benevolence to ourselves through our brother. The gift of divine light, always shining. Then let me give this gift alone, which born of true forgiveness lights the way that I must travel to remember you. Yeah, he says every day spent time in miracles. Giving miracles. And asking him which ones. To offer miracles, Jesus, are we to ask you first? What he still says yes, because you don't know which miracles are needed. He says it saves time to ask him. So he can just put the miracle right. He knows where the miracle pockets are, how to put the miracle right exactly what's needed. For what's most helpful for seeing what's true. And where the miracles just not, where we're avoiding miracles like they're a plague. Jesus, is there a desire to experience miracles as difficult, painful? Avoid them anywhere in the subconscious mind. It's really humbling when you hear, yeah, look, you don't want miracles actually. You want the miracles that you want. And usually the miracles that you want, he's reminding me, are, because it's all for me, are the miracles in form. You're looking to form for miracles. You want the form to change, but it's your mind that changed, and then form just reflects what's in your mind. Peace to all seeking hearts today. The light has come to offer miracles to bless a tired world. It will find rest today, for we will offer what we have received. Jesus, am I willing to receive and offer and receive all the miracles? This is the calling of my heart. He says, know that the calling of your heart has been answered. To see that giving and receiving are one by your nature. Your Father would have you have unlimited miracles, even miracles without limit. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, brothers. Keep joining, he says, keep joining. There's so much joy. The joy that will come from this is beyond this world. Amen.